What if I told you that building a world-class survival pantry requires thinking outside the conventional grocery store box? If you want to thrive instead of just survive, you need items that offer massive nutritional density, extreme versatility, and legendary shelf stability. These are 9 prepping foods you should not live without. Number 9. Chia seeds. You might look at these tiny seeds and think, this can't sustain me, but chia seeds are actually an ancient elite survival food. Aztec warriors used to carry a small pouch of these during long campaigns because they pack a massive nutritional punch in a microscopic footprint. What makes them an absolute must-have for your stockpile is their ability to absorb up to 12 times their weight in water. When you mix them into a liquid, they form a thick gel that provides incredibly slow digesting hydration and sustained energy. In a scenario where clean drinking water is strictly rationed, eating foods that actively help your body retain moisture is a massive tactical advantage. Plus, they are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids and fiber, and they sit quietly in a sealed Mylar bag for years without degrading. Number 8. Powdered peanut butter. Let's be real for a second. Regular peanut butter is usually a staple in every prepper's cabinet, but it has a glaring, fatal flaw. The natural oils inside the peanut butter will eventually go rancid. Once that jar sits on a shelf long enough, it turns foul and becomes entirely inedible. Powdered peanut butter solves this problem beautifully by pressing out almost all of those volatile oils before it gets packaged. What you are left with is a bone-dry powder that boasts a ridiculously long shelf life and an incredibly high protein concentration. During a long-term crisis, maintaining your physical fitness is non-negotiable. You need high-quality protein to rebuild muscle tissue after doing your daily bodyweight exercises, whether you are grinding out sets of stationary lunges to keep your legs strong or doing bridge exercises to maintain your core. Just add a little water to the powder, and you instantly have a high-protein spread that tastes like the real deal. Number 7. Canned sardines in olive oil. I know what you are thinking. Sardines aren't exactly the most glamorous food on the planet, but they are a niche survival powerhouse that you are seriously missing out on. While most preppers stockpile mountains of canned tuna, tuna carries a higher risk of heavy metal accumulation, and it often lacks the high fat content your brain desperately needs to function under stress. Sardines, on the other hand, are sitting right at the bottom of the food chain, meaning they are incredibly clean. When packed in high-quality olive oil, you are getting a double dose of healthy fats and omega-3s. This is crucial for preventing the mental fatigue and brain fog that naturally occur during high-stress emergencies. Plus, when you buy quality sardines, you get absolute ingredient transparency. Just fish, olive oil, and salt. It's simple, effective, and lasts for years in the can. Number 6. Amaranth grain. Most people instinctively stock up on massive buckets of white flour. The problem is that white flour is practically devoid of actual nutrition, and it requires a lot of extra ingredients like yeast and oil to turn into something edible. Amaranth is an ancient grain that completely flips the script. It is one of the very few plant sources on Earth that qualify as a complete protein, meaning it contains all the essential amino acids your body cannot produce on its own. Relying on your own whole grains like amaranth gives you total ingredient transparency. You get to completely avoid the toxic preservatives, dough conditioners, and hidden sugars that are pumped into modern commercial bread just to keep it sitting on a supermarket shelf for weeks. Number 5. Dehydrated bone broth. When people talk about survival foods, they almost always focus exclusively on macronutrients like carbs and fats, completely ignoring gut health. If your digestive system crashes during an emergency because you are eating a sudden diet of heavily processed survival rations, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. Dehydrated bone broth is the ultimate fix for this. It is absolutely packed with collagen, gelatin, and highly bioavailable minerals that soothe and protect the lining of your stomach. It comes in a fine powder that takes up almost zero space in your pantry. A single scoop dissolved in hot water creates a deeply nourishing, savory broth that can serve as a standalone meal or as a rich base for cooking your rice and beans. It provides an immediate psychological boost and genuine physical warmth when the grid goes down and the house gets cold. Number 4. Dried chickpeas. Also known as garbanzo beans, dried chickpeas are severely underrated in the prepping community. Most folks just default to pinto or black beans, but chickpeas offer a level of versatility that those other legumes simply cannot match. Yes, you can boil them down for a standard meal, but you can also grind dried chickpeas in a hand mill to create a high-protein flour. Chickpeas are incredibly easy to sprout. By just soaking them in a jar and rinsing them for a few days, you can grow fresh, crunchy, vitamin-rich sprouts right on your kitchen counter, even if it is the dead of winter and you don't have a garden. Number 3. Rolled oats. This is the ultimate slow-burning fuel. Rolled oats are aggressively dried, which makes them incredibly shelf-stable as long as you keep them securely sealed away from humidity and pantry pests. What makes them a mandatory inclusion for any serious prepper is how little energy they require to prepare. If you are low on cooking fuel, you don't even need to boil them. You can simply soak them in a little water or powdered milk overnight, and by morning they have softened into a perfectly edible, hearty meal. They are complex carbohydrates that release energy slowly into your bloodstream, preventing the severe sugar crashes that come from eating junk food. Number 2. Raw coconut oil. Fat is the most concentrated source of calories on the planet, and in a survival situation, calories are exactly what keep you alive. But as we discussed earlier, most fats and vegetable oils are highly unstable and go rancid surprisingly fast. Raw, unrefined coconut oil is the major exception. Because it is composed almost entirely of saturated fats, it possesses a remarkably stable molecular structure that resists oxidation. A sealed jar of high-quality coconut oil can easily last for years in a cool, dark cabinet. But the real reason you cannot live without it is its insane versatility. Beyond being just a cooking oil or a butter substitute, it has natural antibacterial properties. It can be used to treat dry skin, soothe minor burns, protect carbon steel tools from rusting, and even serve as an emergency fuel source for a makeshift oil lamp. Number 1. Freeze-dried meat. Let's address the elephant in the room. Canned meat is great, and dried beans are essential, but nothing truly replaces the nutritional profile and the psychological satisfaction of real, high-quality meat. Dehydrating meat to make jerky is a good short-term solution, but it leaves behind enough moisture that it will eventually spoil. Freeze-drying, however, takes the food down to sub-zero temperatures and uses a vacuum to pull out 99% of the moisture. The result is real beef, chicken, or pork that weighs practically nothing and can last 25 years or more if stored in a sealed Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber. When you rehydrate it with a little hot water, the texture and flavor bounce back almost perfectly. It is the closest thing you can get to pausing time on fresh food. Having a dedicated supply of freeze-dried meat ensures that you and your family won't suffer from protein starvation or the terrible monotony of eating nothing but rice and beans for months on end. So these are the logical, highly versatile foods that won't let you down. Stockpiling them is an absolute must if you want to be genuinely prepared for the unknown. For more prepping tips, tricks, and survival strategies, make sure to subscribe to our channel.